Hey guys, welcome back to Cody Tarot. Here's another Drawn to This Stone reading. This message is specifically for people. I was listening to the Final Fantasy VII Remake soundtrack. Shout out to anyone who plays the Final Fantasy series games. Anyway, there was a specific message as the song Hollow came on. You might want to listen to that as well if that's something you feel called to do. But the reason we're doing this reading today is because some of you feel hollow inside or like you're lacking inner substance. I know this is a very specific message, but there's a feeling of lacking inner substance. And this reading coming into it is very vague. The message was very vague, and it all came from this song that I was listening to at the current moment, and I felt like I had to do this reading. The reading will be titled more so what the reading will get into, so don't click off if this feels like something that's not related to the title. I title the readings after I do the message, so even if something else comes through from this initial intuitive hit, that'll be what the reading was titled in the beginning or under the thumbnail. So let's get started here. I'm gonna put this up here. Let's get some tarot cards to see the energy that we are going through here together. Let's see. We have Two of Swords, we have Queen of Cups, and we have the Lovers. Ooh, okay. I feel like a lot of you just got into a relationship, or a lot of you just got into a love connection with someone, but it's so interesting. You feel like you can't see where it's going or if you should even be in it because you don't know who you are. There's a feeling of lacking your identity or substance. Oh, this one's wanting to come out on the bottom. We have December. If you're not in this love relationship yet, it could come in December. Just FYI, that was just a timing card that just randomly got pulled out. I didn't even want to pull a timing card, but it was just there. Two of Swords indicates that you have your eye on what you want externally, and you're very aware of what you desire, but I don't think there's a feeling of seeing yourself clearly, if that makes sense. And it might be that you do see yourself clearly. It might even be that there's not much within to see necessarily. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I feel like you guys are actually very intuitive internally, very intuitive. The way I would describe you, you're like an empty glass. So you're like an empty glass. This just means that like someone needs to fill you up, and then you can feel a sense of substance within yourself. It's very different than people who kind of like, how do I put this? Like know who they are and know what they want and have a strong sense of identity. You guys are kind of lacking a sense of strong identity is what I'm seeing. Now, that doesn't mean this love relationship is not going to work out. In fact, I see a lot of mutual sharing, a lot of mutual growth. I think this person, through conversation with them, is going to pull out sides of yourself that as you're communicating, you'll get to learn who you are. That is why this love relationship is coming in. But I do see that the universe, if this love relationship is in your life or not, I feel like this love relationship, the universe wants you to see who you are through this person's eyes, because that will be the truth. And it's not like they're telling you who you are either. It's not like this person is telling you who you are. This is a very person who's a very neutral kind of energy as far as like receiving what you have to say. And I think naturally they ask specific questions that will get you to answer in a way where as you are talking, as you are communicating, there is a feeling of hearing what your soul is, hearing what you believe in, hearing where your heart lies, and hearing your destiny, hearing the path you're meant to follow. You're going to get all this through conversation with this person. This is a very powerful love interest coming in, and you will be able to have conversations that are both enlightening for them and for you. I wouldn't be surprised if they also feel like an empty cup at some points. However, I would describe them more as a rock, that like a geode, that like even though you might feel like an empty glass and people can pour whatever water they want into you, and you kind of become that vessel that someone else is, and you're nervous, like, how do I put this? Confirmation, the air just went off. You might be nervous that this person is just another person who's going to pour their energy into your cup and make you into someone you're not, and I feel like there's this feeling with you guys where you definitely feel strongly, how do I put this? You feel strongly like you need to fill your own cup first before meeting someone, but that is not how the universe has planned your journey. The universe planned you to meet this person because they are like a rock. They are like a geode. They are not someone who is going to pour water into your glass. They are someone who is also hollow on the inside, but someone who is difficult to penetrate. I feel like other people, and I think this is why you respect this person, other people, how do I put this, feel like this person doesn't share a lot, that this person is a closed book, that this person hides a lot, or there's a lot underneath the surface. But this is a person whose hollow insides have never been penetrated by anyone else. Whereas you guys, on the other hand, watching this, your empty cup has been filled over and over again with various different liquids. You can think someone filling your cup with like Coke or orange juice or soda or alcohol or coffee, whatever the case may be. You've absorbed every single emotion. You've absorbed every single personality known to man, and you guys are just sick of it. I feel like you guys have spent a period of isolation or a period where you've learned to block off this energy, and you have been hollow yourself. Now, this person coming into contact with you, this for most of you, I'm saying a man, right? For it could be any sex. I on my channel, I don't discriminate. Gay, lesbian, bi, whatever, any gender, whatever. We don't discriminate here. And but I am saying for a lot of you, this is a more masculine energy. For like 90% of you watching, this is someone coming in who has like a masculine energy. But don't let that deter you from the reading. But this person is a rock, right? They have a outer shell that they have never let anyone penetrate inside them, right? And I think that's the key here. They're not like someone who is trying to reach out and fill you or anything like that. And they let you be empty. And because they're like a geode, right? And geodes, before you crack them open, they have this internal emptiness inside them, but it's filled with beauty and crystals and all this stuff, right? So in a way, they're kind of glass-like like you. There's this feeling of having two hollow centers meet and resonating with each other because the emptiness in both of you is resonating with the emptiness in the other one. And truthfully, you just have been around so many people who are so sure of themselves, have so many opinions, have so many like rock hard centers to them, or people who are trying to impose their opinion on you, that you've never realized that maybe your hollowness is what makes you who you are. And if you were just with someone else who had a hollowness, that there would be a sense of inner peace for both of you. Because first of all, I see no one trying to get through this guy, even though this guy's like impenetrable, even though your partner is impenetrable, no one's trying to break them through. Mainly because when you're around, they see that you're the active listener. You're the one that they can pour their stuff into, right? But because they have this hollow center resonating with them, in that situation, say you go out on the town, you're talking to people, people are communicating with you, and people are filling your cup. They're giving you coffee, they're giving you orange juice, they're giving you Coke. Coca-Cola. Basically, with this guy, he stays hollow. And it's a reminder to yourself, I am still me. No matter how many opinions I absorb, I am still me. Even though if me doesn't have like a strong idea of something or a strong whatever of something, I am still me. There's a feeling of just being yourself around this person. Even if you can absorb other people's feelings, other people's energies, a lot of you just might be straight up empaths and you don't have a strong sense of self because you've only known yourself through other people's emotions, other people's stories, other people's opinions, other people's decisions, other people's everything, right? Now, the cool thing about this is what I'm seeing is there's this woman holding up a seashell, right? I feel like, first of all, you guys are very intuitive, mainly because you easily just absorb what someone else is going through. And no matter what, you can reflect accurately whatever that person is, right? So this is kind of the sign of like, as soon as they start pouring their energy into you, one thing you can kind of talk about your identity, if you want to talk about something like that, you can just look at the mechanisms of how the empty glass metaphor works with things pouring into it. As soon as that liquid is in you, you are them. Like, you have their perspective, you have their beliefs, you have their opinions, you are them. And so it's a very powerful intuitive gift because you can see anything clearly about these other people that are kind of coming towards you with this kind of energy. That is one aspect of this. And then also the shell right here is reminding me of two other things. First, when you put the shell up to your ear and you hear the ocean, that's how I kind of feel like your partnership is with your partner. There's a feeling of serenity that when you're with them, there's a feeling of hearing things that are beyond this world, right? Because the world is filled with all these like liquids trying to come into your glass, right? But when you're around them, there's this feeling of like emptiness, serenity, peace, like you're right on the beach, right on the ocean. The other thing I want to mention, the shell's reminding me of hermit crabs. This is just a side message, but you and your partner actually might change living locations periodically. I feel like part of you guys are kind of more into traveling in general, or at least that is coming up in the future. And it's interesting. I feel like at this current point in your relationship, for those of you who've already met this person, you know you want them, but you haven't experienced this sense of like sharing and communication where you are releasing words to them and they're saying things to you and you're really hearing who you truly are, right? It's hard for people who have a hollow center, metaphorically speaking, right? I'm just using metaphors here. Who have a hollow center to see who they are clearly, right? But when someone else also has a hollow center, it kind of creates that feeling of resonance, right? Your inner cores are the same. So it's interesting. I see you guys know what you want, but you're not seeing clearly how to get it, but you're not afraid to go after it. This Two of Swords is very paradoxical. She's blindfolded and she has a bow and arrow. It's like, what's going on? You know, how are you going to see to shoot? So I feel like there's a feeling of using your other senses to find this person, right? You might not use any outer senses to find them, but that feeling of serenity and peace that you get with the Queen of Cups, you might even, because you guys are so psychically attuned, when you approach this person or get near them, you might hear a specific static, or you might hear a specific sound, or the sound in the room might muffle out a little bit when you're around them, something like that. There's a feeling of some kind of activating effect when you first meet this person. And eventually that feeling is going to come as like a feeling of serenity, no matter where you are, as long as you're with them. There's this feeling of kind of like serenity with this person. Like I said, December might be a time you meet them. This relationship does feel, it's not necessarily codependent in a negative way, but it's going to have all the positive side effects of codependency. So that means like you're each other's shields. Like you guys go out and do everything together. Like you're constantly connected to each other. You have that feeling of like never leaving their side. Like this is the kind of relationship where you don't need space from your partner. Like you're not going to need time to yourself. You're not going to need, and you guys are probably cringing at that. You're like, of course I need time to myself. But you have to remember, this person has a hollow center as well. They're not someone who's trying to infiltrate your psyche or infiltrate your mind with their energy. It feels like you're alone when you're with them. But at the same time, there's a feeling of serenity and peace. So that my air just turned on, so it does feel like you're alone when you're with this person. And so the fact is, you guys get all the benefits of having company and all the benefits of feeling at peace and not infiltrated by any external energy. So that's the reading I have for you today. It was quick, it was simple, there were not that many cards pulled, which is fine, that happens. Yeah, thank you for choosing this stone, and I feel like this reading, this message today was supposed to be powerful. Hopefully it was. My phone battery just turned low power, so probably a good time to end the reading as well. Yeah, I wish you guys all the best. You will know who you are. You will have a sense of your own self. I know that has been such a shitty thing your entire life, just not knowing who you are. But it's coming. You have the right person coming for you. And I'm really excited to say that. I'm really excited to give you this message. For some of you, it's not this December, it's next December. I just wanted to reiterate that because that's something that there's something about impatience coming through. But ultimately, I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you want to like or comment, you can do that below. Subscribe if you feel like that. I also offer Etsy readings on my Etsy page, which is linked on my YouTube channel. Thanks again. Catch you guys later. Bye.